Good morning. Welcome to Full Circle Ozarks.
Hello friends, welcome to Full Circle Ozarks. I'm walking down here. I'm gonna grab the excavator, and I got a fence row that I need to clean out a little bit. There's a tree that I'm looking at, and I can't get to the tree to see if it's something that we're ready to harvest. So when we bought this property, there were some fences that was actually attached to the trees instead of putting posts in. So this particular tree that I'm looking at, it's got a potential value for a project that we need to work on. So I thought I'd just take the excavator and go down there, do a little bit of work, and see if I can clean up so I can even get to it with the chainsaw if we decide to take it. So this is going to be the first candidate tree that we're going to look at to see if it's going to meet our needs. So what do you say, let's jump on the excavator and get on down here. We turn the camera around though just for a moment. As you can see here, we've been down here cutting wood again, and matter of fact, we had some folks just to come get a couple of rick that we had stacked here. They just left, so we got that rick there that somebody hopefully will be coming getting soon, and that little bit of wood right there, that's just going to be for the fire pit. But anyway, back to what we came down here for. Let's get on this excavator and head over in the woods. I'll see if I can talk to you a little bit while we're heading over. Get the excavator turned around here. If you remember, I often tell you that you don't go very far, very fast in an excavator. But that's okay. We're gonna head over to that fence row. You know, probably rather than just looking at me, why don't I just turn this camera around and I'll give you a view of where we're going. I think I like that better. Here we go. You can see right down there that big tree that the storm took down a while back. I may have to make firewood out of that at some point, but I need to talk to the neighbor. Part of that tree is on my neighbor. Well, it's a nice day for a ride. I'll have to admit, it's a little bit more fun when I'm on an ATV or a UTV as we're on the trails. But this is one of those cases where I need the excavator, so it's not far enough that I need to put it on the trailer. So we're just going to drive it out through the edge of the woods here on one of our trails. What do you think about driving out through the woods here? Do you like this view? If you do, just leave me a comment. Let me lower that arm just a little bit so I don't catch it on the limb. We're just about where we need to be. Just wanted to give you a view of this honey locust right here in front of me. You see those big thorns? Those things are rough on tires. Ask me how I know. When we first started on our property out here, we had those honey locusts all over the place. I think I got about 90% of them down though. but it took me a while. Well, folks, I'm going to take a moment now and kind of describe to you and show you the tree that we're interested in. And it's actually this tree right here in front of me. That is a nice walnut, and we need this tree for a special project. And it's right in the fence line, and as you can see, I hope you can see, there's an old fence right here, and I can't get over there even with a chainsaw. So I need to just take the excavator and pull this fence here out, clean this out. Let me get over here so I can talk to you again. I just need to get over there and clean this out pretty good so I can get around this tree with the chainsaw. And I'll spend a little bit more time looking at it, deciding how I want to fell the tree, and we'll just have to go from there. Okay, let's just ease on up here and start pulling this stuff out from the fence. Well, I'm getting my bucket all tangled up in the weld wire. We'll just see if we can pull this fence out. Okay, I got that cleaned out a little bit. We'll head back over here, see if I got anything else I need to get out. I might as well get this little cedar out of the way. Now on this tree here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some remnants of that old fence. I'll have to be careful with that. But now I'll just kind of drake this back. I'm basically just clearing me a good place to land this tree if this is what we decide. But even if we don't decide it, I've got part of my fence row cleaned out. I don't know, folks. This little, I'm gonna call it a sucker tree. Let me see if I can break it off here. There we go. That's the one that had the part of the fence row on it, where they actually had stapled the fence. I don't want to damage this old cedar, so let me get over it this way. I think. Can we just pick this tree up now, if you think, folks? Pull it out of there, let's see. Well, folks, I think that worked out pretty good. I've got this all cleaned out around this well enough that I can get in here with a chainsaw now. And the ideal, and I got a heavy limb right up here, kind of leaning that way, and I got another one on that side. But I cleaned out enough over here. Hopefully you can see me here now. I cleaned out enough here based on the way this tree is leaning. I believe I can fell the tree right down through here. And this would be ideal right down here if I can fell this tree right down through here. We can get her cut up, but before we fell it, the next thing I want to do is get me a ladder and measure to make sure that this tree is going to yield the lumber that I need for this project. If I don't think it's going to yield it, I probably will try to find another tree. There's a few other trees that we have that should work. It's going to make some beautiful lumber if we harvest it. Well, good morning, folks. It's now a couple of days since I looked at that last tree. For you, it's going to be just like that, though. But I did spend some time reflecting on that tree, and we went and done some measurements this morning, and it's just not going to yield enough lumber for the project that we have to work on. So we have this walnut right here. It's a nice black walnut, and we'll get you a picture of it, hopefully, or a video clip way up there. That's going to be a nice walnut log. So matter of fact, we're going to get a couple of nice logs out of this. So my plan is I'm going to cut me a notch here, and I'm hoping I can fall it right that way towards you. So I'll make sure you're out of the way before we fell the tree. But anyway, I'm going to grab the saw, get some of this little brush here out of the way, and we're going to get this tree on the ground. So hang around, it's going to be fun. Well, what do you think, folks? That came down exactly where I wanted it. That's a good thing. Let me get this marked. We'll get it cut into a log. Okay, folks, we're going to get this measured up. We're going to cut the logs 8 feet 6 inches. So let's get it measured up. It's at 8 right there, I think. So 8, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll get up here, measure it here. Perfect place. Okay, we're going to get this cut, and I'll be right back with you. Actually, you're going to be able to watch, so. We got 2 beautiful walnut logs. Let me get one picked up the tractor and we'll talk about it. All right, folks, come on up and let's take a look at this. We'll start on the big end down here. Let's get a measurement. Going that way, it is, I'm gonna call it 19 inches. This is on the big end, about 18 that way. Let's go down and check the small end now. That is about 16 inches there. Well, folks, what do you think? This is a piece of beautiful wood. This is, again, black walnut, for those that may be interested. So we're going to get this down to the mill and get it set up, but not today. You're going to have to stay tuned until next Thursday to see us milling this in the other log, and we'll see how much lumber this brings. So make sure you stay tuned, take care, God bless, and I'll see you again on the next Full Circle Ozarks.